No, I don't have any bias, as we know, in EUL. I'm quite happy to just see good Siege and anybody win. But genuinely, I think Wolves are our best shot. I think Wolves are our best shot for EU at the Major. Last week was a blip. These are a quality team right now.
Yeah. I agree with you, Tim.
That's it.
Please tell me you got that
Done.
reference, by the way, Fresh. About the whole wolf on all levels except physical, I am a wolf. No, I've got to show the video later. Okay. That fell on deaf ears. I'm so sad. I really thought it'd break down.
For anybody wondering what's going on, Fresh quite often likes to sit in the studio and watch the game. He just loves to hear our casting live. He gets the pleasure of that every time.
He buys the VIP experience every time.
That's why sometimes we speak to Fresh.
He wires me £100 for every single game that we do. I didn't tell you, so don't split the money.
We're not just sort of hypothetically speaking to Fresh. We are quite literally speaking to Fresh.
I don't see a Fresh in here, mate. Are you sure it's not in your imagination? Have you got an imaginary friend called Fresh?
Yeah, duo queues with me and I win.
Is he stood there behind you the whole time? It's like, come on, Tim, you can do it.
He's a real mental coach.
Whispering literally mental in your head. Oh, okay then, let's get into it. We've had our bans a rifle on through as Army being banned away. We've wondered about that for a while. We saw it being used a lot in that last game on Skyscraper. I'm glad to see it taken away a little bit here. Otherwise, pretty typical. Seeing NAVI ban away the Fink is an interesting one, given not really that interesting, knowing we know how much damage Mowgli can do with that operator. But now that WOL start on the defense is downstairs in the basement, which means NAVI, well, my friends, you're in hot water if today's trends for the attackers are anything to go by.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Azami banned out on Oregon a lot, particularly. We don't often see Azami available on Oregon. And there's obviously good reason for that. There's obviously things that are being seen in scrims and tried in scrims and working in scrims that are meaning that Azami is not seeing much playtime on Oregon at all. It is the knock-on bank sort of effect at the minute. But yes, Kaid will go along as well, so that's going to give a bit of access to the hatches. But what it does, and Bibu's immediately picked her, is open up Valkyrie.
And why would you not run the Valkyrie when you have the chance? One thing I am quite optimistic for Na'Vi in this game is Wolves have played this map twice in this stage. They absolutely demolished Heroic here. They played Pones and it came down to 7-5. It was closer than maybe they would have liked. There is very recent history to go off of, whereas Na'Vi haven't played this map since April. It's been 3 months since they have stepped into the halls of Oregon, so they could have had some new surprises to bring along to the party here, not forgetting, of course, their roster changes that also came through. So this arguably is a new experience for Wolves, but Na'Vi, if they've done the homework, they'll be playing against something that feels oddly familiar.
Right, we've got Yak on the Monty, going to be pushing through into Kitchen just to dislodge Thorn behind the Mirror. Mirror, another pickup here that's just taking the opportunity of those bans going elsewhere. Not always available, but is going to be brought along immediately. Yak deals with that very, very well. Blur was pushing on the knock. I was a little bit surprised to see him taking out Valkyrie and default cams. You do have something to deal with that, Blur.
Yes, oddly enough. Still, they're looking towards where Blur's got to, straight down there as well, trying to step his way forward. Almost gets a freebie. The good reaction from Wolves now let them know there are now 2 players pushing in from Freezer. Actually, this could get very dangerous. One man's in. Nate's already being finished off here by Shinka, who was ready and waiting. But then Skiddy steps up and brings down Rise. There's one more out towards Pillar, finds Mowgli's head. Skiddy, the Mowgli counter, steps in, but 2 kills fly back the other way. It's a 3v2 to the Wolves.
P4's just ready to peek that highway door onto Freezer if Blur steps forward here, but he's got to hear him first. Yak goes marching in and nearly gives his life away. Doesn't realise that P4 is tucked into that corner, but the information will come out now, and Blur is going to hold that angle. But the problem for Na'Vi here is they've got to get something going, and they've only got 1.5 operators. Yak is stuck behind that shield, and all he can really do is provide information to Blur. So Blur, you can't sit there and wait forever. Gets himself 1, but not 2. P4 manages to get the kill there. Final comes in from Bibu, and that is going to be the round. Well played, Wolves.
I've seen some fresh being channeled by Yak there after those plays on Monty yesterday, Tim. Unfortunately, that 1v2 is a Monty.
Don't even talk to me about
I'm not going to. There is very little you can get away with there as that Monty, though. Like, he knew from the start that he was screwed. It was a really good defensive position assumed by Wolves as well. Just denied Kayak any opportunity. He goes to the guy inside of Supply. He gets shot from Pillar. He turns his attention towards Pillar. He gets shot from the guy inside of Supply. It's just nice and smart. Good lineup by Wolves. Good way to deal with that mid-round aggression coming out through Freezer as well, and just showing that composure that you want to see from what you're hoping to be the shining light when we go to the Major.
Honestly, I've never seen a start in a ranked game like Fresh had on Theme Park yesterday.
I thought you said not to talk about it.
I know, but I felt like it needed some context.
Okay, go on then.
Round 1, he plays Amaru straight into sight. Ridiculous. Round 2, plays Monte.
He got like 4 kills in that first round.
Don't worry, that's coming. Monte, he plays second round, knife only. He gets 9 kills in those first 2 rounds. Coming to his TikTok soon, I have absolutely no doubt. Ridiculous behaviour, and he should never have been allowed to get away with it. Back to the game at hand.
You let him come in the stack.
Of course I do. He's going to get 9 kills with Mario and Monty in 2 rounds. Of course, in the stack. Round number 2, Wolves are on the defence this time of Laundry and Basement. Laundry and Basement, top floor, meeting.
Question mark.
Question mark. I thought for a second they can't possibly be meeting, but then I said laundry and thought they can't be laundry. They've just won it. They're in meeting.
They are indeed. Which normally invites something like an Ossa pick to come along, but this is the round where Navi have stepped away from bringing the shield operators. Instead, though, leaning in towards things like the Thatcher, which of course made its way through the ban phase as a result of the Finker and the Maverick being banned away. So I'm looking towards that and just thinking any impediment you might come across, any mutes that might block your path, any ADSs that might snag your grenades away, well, you've still got those on side, and their vertical destruction is coming in the forward of 9 breaching charges they've got to him across Blur, Thunder, and Nath.
Well, they're certainly going to have the soft destruction, put it that way.
Yes.
There is absolutely no excuses there. So they're going to want to take over Kids' Dorms. They're going to want to get the defenders cleared out of there, get some verticality down and give them access into Kitchen. But Rise and Mowgli, they're going to be doing everything they can to try and prevent that from happening. I thought we might have a little bit of a musical twist today. Maybe we could do an entire Playday as a musical one. I feel like Em would be on board with
Don't get us started.
Maybe with our full production and
She'd bring the costumes and everything.
Exactly, I'd love that, I'd love that. Skiddy, he's looking to peek around the corner here, but he's not going to peek anything as Rise comes down, gets aggressive, manages to find that opener at the bottom of White Stairs, taking down the Iana, and Nades go along with a Blur, manages to get one onto P4, finding a headshot. That's going to be a trade, leaving us now in a 4v4.
It's crazy for Rise to get away with that as well. Such an aggressive swing out. Normally you get dealt with from, for example, the White Window. There'd be a second person coming up through Dining. There might be another one coming up Shower as well. You know, very risky to do that with minimal information. Oh my God, minimal information. Why was that such a hard word to say? With minimal information, yet still gets away with it and keeps his life, doesn't take a single point of damage and gets away safely. So for Skiddy, it's a bit of a pain to have died out so early there because you also die with those 2 nades in back pocket.
It could well come back to bite them as we continue. Blur has taken a lot of damage here as well. Is low health, 2 Selmas left in pocket. Needs to protect those and make sure they've got them available should they need them. Although it might not be the end of the world for this side if they had to manage without them. They've also got Yak on hard breach as an alternative. Mowgli is going to be playing his life inside of Attic. I think he's going to try to hold on to that for as long as possible. It's as easy as that for Rise. He's having another one of those nights. There's Mowgli manages to get Nath. Rise is just walking around getting kills at will at the minute. He's only on 2, but in this round he's basically walked. What I mean by that is he's getting kills that he shouldn't be allowed to get. He's walked down to the bottom of White Stairs, got aggressive, got a kill, and then he's just rotated himself through Master, picked one up in Closet. There's just no stopping him at the minute. He's going around getting them wherever he wants. Mowgli on a double as well. Shinka finishes things off. Wolves take round 2, 2-0.
That's the pain with Rise in that round, is he's literally got swung onto Shower from the bottom of White, then worked his way out towards Trophy and pushed in behind the enemy team to get a kill inside a walk-in wardrobe. And no one has caught him on a drone. No one's found a way to stop him or shut him out. Part of me says it's just unexpected aggression coming out from Rise, but by the same token, Navi, you've got to be a bit more disciplined in those situations, my friends. Hopefully that improves here in round 3 as we go towards a much more, air quotes, normal site in Kids and Dorms.
It is going to be a more normal stat. And the thing is, it takes the pressure off Wolves. It takes the pressure off Wolves. Regulation win, overtime win, just to clarify, any win at all will do for Wolves. It
they can win at this point
guarantee them a Berlin major. They can take a flat-out loss and still have a 90% chance of getting there. So they're looking pretty good at the minute. But I am pretty certain, given their reputation and track history as well, I am certain they will want to get this done ASAP. Get it over the line, get it locked in, and know that they are going.
They have some pretty torrid experiences, should we say, with last play days of the season, Tim. They don't want to have it.
That's it. They don't. It'll be, I'm sure it'll be a weight off their minds to go into the final play days knowing that actually job's already done. Job's already done. There's no pressure.
Back when they were known as Vitality for the longest time, I was saying, you know, they are the most consistently inconsistent team you can imagine. One Playday, they look the best team going, the next, one of the worst. And Halby on Twitter actually pointed something out to me, one of their coaches, turned around and said, the thing is, if you look at us over the last 18 months, we have consistently finished higher. We've gone from 9th to 7th to 6th to 5th to actually making it to a major in 4th place, to now being top of the table. They are leveling up as stages go by, you know, regardless of what roster changes they make or whatever, the team has consistently improved. It may have been a 2 to 3 year journey to get here, but as things stand, they are arguably the best team that we have got in Europe.
Touch up, just going to be roaming around underneath looking for those gadgets. We'll find the mute jammer that was placed inside of security, so that's going to give an option to potentially draw inside of there. Skiddy was extremely careful going in there, full ADS. He's going to be heading up the white stairs, gets himself an absolute freebie onto Rise there. Thunder manages to get Mowgli at the same time. B-Boom fighting back, getting one onto Yak, but still find ourselves now in a 4v3 for NAVI after Wolves with an uncharacteristic slip at the beginning of the round there, just letting them get in and get that advantage.
To be fair, Tim, it's not ranked. You don't expect someone to come walking or crouch walking up white stairs at 2 minutes 10 left in the round, so understandably caught a little bit blindsided by that one. They should still know what's going on here, knowing that of course you have things like the Valkyrie on side as well. There was a player downstairs inside a kitchen that had a bit too much to watch. I think was also watching kitchen at the same time. It's P4 here, as you can see, so wasn't really able to cover all angles at once. They just completely bypassed him, ignore the mirror window that's watching out towards dining, and put their focus entirely on the site. C4 over the top, going to find absolutely no one.
Interesting point about that white stairs push that our superstar observer Easy has just pointed out in my ear is that they actually had a Valcam watching that area as well. It's just that Wolves were not actively looking at it at that time. Skiddy able to just walk past it, but no, they're giving it away again. P4 manages to get the second as Boo got one to get things started in the mid-round. Found ourselves now Wolves after a double kill, 3 versus 2. Nath, he's roaming around underneath, just trying to use that mirror window to his advantage. They know that P4 is out here somewhere. They're going to have to try and chase him down, but it's going to be dangerous and it's going to waste time.
It's the freedom of movement again, though, right? That's 2 rounds really. Rise in the last one, P4 in this one, just doing whatever he pleases. Finally gets shut out by Skiddy, who moves over from the white window and can then put his focus back in towards site once more. This is the closest Navi have got now. They're in a 2 versus 2. They've only got 35 seconds still to play with those, so they've really got to speed things up.
Nath, he gets himself out of that small tower, just trying to go route 1 to site as quickly as he can. Going to get himself established on the double window, but I've said this before, this is actually a really difficult site to push into. If you don't have a man advantage and you're limited on time, it can be really tricky. Boo, he's going to hold on to the mid-ground there. He knows there's somebody at the top of white. He's going to take the challenge, gets the kill. That's a good kill with the MPX as well. Boo onto Skiddy. Nice headshot. Nath's going to have to rotate, but with 8 seconds left to go, it's very unlikely that he gets himself up here. And there comes the kill. It's going to be Boo. Triple on the round. And that is Wolves locking it down. And that is not bad from them. 3 versus 5 and still managing to get the job done.
I do have to ask the questions again that I pointed out earlier around Navi's droning, their general awareness. It just feels like they're missing the most critical part.
Seconds. Nath as well looks like he's sort of passionate about his response into that team talk there, just trying to give a bit of information back in. But that leads us into round 4, and we're going to have Wolves on a rotate once again. They'll be back down to laundry and supply, and they will continue their defence from there.
Alrighty, let's see if they can turn their fortunes around here. Back we go to supply and laundry. I love the post-round 3 timeout, and Emmy's doing a very questionable walk across the studio. I'm not really quite sure how you describe that, Tim.
I'd say it's like, imagine a wave. Imagine a wave in the ocean.
You know what it's like? It's like
that's what she was doing.
It's like those weird things that they put outside of, like, what do they call that place where you buy cars?
Oh, yeah.
They're like that all in the air. Like,
where it's just air.
Yeah, air blowing up and it's blowing up into everywhere. It keeps folding over in half and bending.
So like a big noodle.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's like a noodle man.
Yeah.
Noodle man. It's a noodle man. Oh, so funny.
Is that the name?
Yes.
Okay.
Where I'm from, it is.
Don't start this again.
For those, this needs context. Before the game, we were having a good debate.
Giving a lot of context during this
There's a lot of context to give here. Yeah, we are actually, yeah. Context of this one. Different parts of the UK call white rolls, they're like things, I don't know, you put like ham, cheese
I think
on there,
bread roll is the universal.
Bread roll is universal, but it's still fundamentally wrong. But it's the one we have to say so everyone understands. They're called cobs where I'm from.
Tea cakes.
Tim calls them tea cakes incorrectly because a tea cake is something with raisins
absolutely
and
correct.
toast.
That's a current tea cake.
No, a tea cake to us is like the chocolate thing with like marshmallow.
That's
and
a chocolate tea cake.
That's a tea cake. It's just a tea cake.
I'm answering all the questions here, Des.
So this is
I
exactly
don't understand where your problem is.
That was one argument. Then I brought through what's called a tip top or an ice pole or whatever the hell you guys call it. Ice pop.
That's what everybody calls.
No, we call them tit-tops.
Absolutely
In
wrong.
Birmingham.
Completely incorrect.
Absolutely not incorrect.
Ridiculous behaviour.
Whatever. Carry on then. Let's see how things shape up then. We've got Blur still working his way through here, down through dining and across in towards kitchen. Navi just covering off all the areas that previously they've been stung on, but they're learning, Tim. They've got drones at their feet. They're pushing their way forwards. Does he want to go for this 1 versus 1 knowing there's someone at the top side of green? Yes, he does. But Mowgli, a little bit too wise to it, backs away temporarily, then steps back out again, looking for that 1 versus 1. So the Nook here is being held up, Tim, and let's not forget, given this is on the downstairs, this is good time wasting coming out of Wolves, and surely Rise does not get away with being that big a rat.
Mowgli played that really well, just not overcommitting and just keeping Blur at bay. The Monty pushes up, as you say. Rice could well get away. No, he's dipped out of it. He's decided that it's too big a risk. He's going to get himself back down to hold on to pillars.
I really hoped he'd stuck that, and then we'd seen a really spicy play coming out. My day's ruined, and my disappointment. See,
It's immeasurable.
No. Fresh has got a tip-top.
An ice pop.
Yeah, it's tip-top.
Yeah.
Got a tip-top.
He's got an ice pop, yeah.
Tip-top.
No, he's got an ice pop,
tip-top,
yeah.
mate,
He looks like he's enjoying that ice pop.
Yeah, the tip-top looks great. What flavour's that tip-top?
It looks like
It's a lemon tip-top.
A lemon-flavoured ice
lemon
pop.
tip-top, right, got it.
It's a lemon-flavoured ice pop.
It's not an ice lolly.
Oh, easy.
Don't you get involved easy.
Right, getting involved on the... There is a game going on. Getting involved on the rear stage. Tests his yak on the Monty. He's pushing down to try and move that Malusi around. Mowgli does have to dip away. Comes back to challenge. There's nothing that you can really do about the big shieldy boy. He's a foreboding presence, and he's just making the defenders sweat a little bit. But at the same time, not really aggressive enough to be able to move them. So the bunker players are just being held at bay. There's still somebody inside of elbow. And right now, Wolves are holding on pretty well.
That pressure, it's all about Mowgli here, really. It spins on a dime and what he can do. Out towards Blue. The nades rain through. He cannot get away from anything. It's a barrage coming out of Navi. They get the kill onto Mowgli, and that's the man to find. But Bibu still stands. And given his 3K in the last round, you've got to be feeling nervous. Down goes the Monty. Rise collecting a freebie second. P4 into another. Wolves dispatching of Navi. Their timeout proving to be a total waste of time, as Wolves will find themselves going up 4-0 here in a very decisive round 4.
Pretty easy for Wolves there, as they were able to just ignore the Monty. They've done very well at dealing with that operator so far. 2 rounds that we've seen it from Yak, and it's been ineffective in both. That leads Wolves on to a 4-0 at the minute, and just like the last game we cast, this one seems to be heading in one direction. The last one was a big turnaround with a reverse sweep from M&M, going from 5-1 down to a 7-5 win. Right now, I'm not seeing the same sort of energy from Navi though.
No, absolutely not. There is a lot of work for Navi to be doing here. They've had that timeout. They've tried what they might, but they're still just missing that. You said earlier on BDS were toothless. And it feels like...
That's how it felt.
Outside of Secrets today, I'd argue most attacks have been toothless. They've lacked that real spark in the
Come on,
30
Wolves.
seconds.
Show us your teeth in the second half.
Awoo.
That's what we need.
Awoo.
There you go.
Yes. Yep, Emmy gets it. She's also got a tip-top. It's broken in half. I had one of those the other day. They're really minty, aren't they? It's weird. It's like toothpaste, but not toothpaste. It's really bizarre. I've never had anything like it in a tip-top.
Not in the UK, in an ice pop. Yeah, it's like it seems to be a popular thing in France. It's like a menthol sort of flavour. Yeah, an ice pop. Yeah. Round number 5 then. We're going to be heading in. Wolves are running away with this one at the minute, 4-0. They are defending Meeting once again. It is their secondary choice site. You might have thought in the first rotation it was a little bit of a sort of a pocket pick, really. Just let's bring along Meeting. They might not expect it. Attacker repick sort of, makes that a little bit redundant. But still, you think if they're not quite prepped for it, but no, they have doubled down with it as the second choice.
They want to break these guys.
They're thinking about a rush,
Here
but as they go in, Thunder manages to get one onto Mowgli. Can Yak get another? Yes, he can. Skeleton key into the back. Rise manages to get Skiddy along the way, so it keeps Wolves in touching distance, and that's something that they've done really, really well so far. Bibu gets Blur, and once again, Wolves refuse to roll over.
Bibu is 9-0 now. He was 8-0 at the start of the round. It's still ridiculous that he has yet to be brought down across these 5 rounds, putting on an absolute show so far. The worst thing is, Tim, Navi coordinated that so well. They were so ready. Their players lined up. They knew what they were doing, yet they still walk away 2-2. And generally, Jaeger and Malusi both put down their gadgets, and it doesn't matter so much if they die. Their utility has already been deployed. You're losing the Yana and the Finker. You're losing nades, a Gon 6. You're losing the EE1Ds. The attackers have lost so much more in that play than the defenders did.
Certainly did. It's 3v3. It's halfway mark, and NAVI are scrambling now to think about the remainder of this attack and exactly where they're going to push from. They haven't really got control of that top floor. They do not know as P4 pops up. That's something that they've been caught out with once or twice. Players popping up in unexpected locations, and it's usually P4 2v2. That's leaving the diffuser, and I don't think Yak intended to do that.
He wanted to grab it as he vaulted over. Look cool on that.
He was trying to look cool, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, Yak, but that was a fail.
Go for the style points, mate, unfortunately. Still, they find themselves in a spot where this 2v2 is now broken out, right? The thing is, where P4 died in those stairs, I've seen so many players die there the last few weeks where they're kind of sat there looking to challenge up the stairs and someone outside by Yellow Bus gets a freebie. It happens far too often for it to be a really good spot to be playing in.
50 seconds left to go. The NAVI players now are stacked up inside a dining, and I think Wolves are pretty aware of that. They're a little bit concerned about the potential for a white stairs push, having taken over the top floor again. But it's down to Shinka to hold on downstairs, Bibu above. But I tell you what, as soon as they come in through this door, it's going to be good night. 1-2, kiss, kiss, bang, bang. Bibu puts them down, and that's going to be another round to Wolves. 5-0.
11-0, by the way, Bibu.
Yeah, what not a big thing.
It's not a big thing. Just stay in the office. Just whatever.
I bet he don't like to talk about it.
No, I doubt he does. No, why would he?
Not
He's not really a showy guy, to be honest, is he?
Not at all.
Not at all, no. He is shining right now. What a season he's had, by the way, like Bibu overall. Like previous seasons, he was playing a more kind of supportive role. We wouldn't have talked about him all that much. He's still playing a largely supportive role, but dropping absolute numbers whilst doing it. And NAVI just, unfortunately, not competitive in this game so far. We'll still hold on to the adage of there are two halves to a game of Siege, but I just get the feeling Wolves are going to smack them real hard, real fast in round 7, and that's going to be done and dusted.
I feel like Team Secret last week went up to a hornet's nest, smashed it about with a stick. They managed to run away.
They gave someone else the stick.
They managed to run away, and their mate NAVI has got caught up in the swarm of the Hornets that have come out very, very angry. That is how Wolves look at the minute. They are absolutely demolishing them. NAVI struggling to get themselves even a toehold in this one. It could be a 6-0 half here for Wolves. Bibu, as you say, having an absolute field day. 11-0. They're just unable. Nothing sticks to him. He's absolutely non-stick right now.
Like a frying pan, Tim.
Exactly like that. And it's like NAVI have been hit in the face with said frying pan.
Several times, repeatedly, to the point it's no longer funny. Bibu is 11-0, as we've already mentioned. Like, again, just unreal to stop. And it was Rise that I was commending for his movement earlier on in the game, but ultimately the kills have all been funneled over to the man in the middle. Let's see, though, if NAVI can recover anything in round 6. They need to, because going into that second half down 6-0 is stressful beyond belief, is the only way I can put it. I don't care how solid you think your mental really is. When you're staring at match point every single round, it starts to grate on you after a while.
Of course it will, Nath. He's going to be heading in. He's going to choose to pop that Goyo canister himself at the top of Armory Stairs. It will burn 20 seconds. That's going to slow that down, but at the beginning of the round, it is irrelevant, really. NAVI just taking the option away from Wolves. Skiddy, Blur, both taking a little bit of damage, but P4 getting eaten back at there. Mowgli manages to find the kill onto Skiddy with the headshot, though. That's a good start. P4 onto Blur, Mowgli onto Yak, and once again, another round just falling apart. It just feels like the mental has gone for NAVI right now. Mowgli manages to get Nath. They're just swinging and peeking everything here, Wolves. They're playing with so much confidence. It's 5v1.
They are, as in NAVI, are quite literally Wolves' chew toy right now. But at this point, they're burying him out in the backyard, digging a hole for him, ready to bury that bone. Thunder finding a great shot onto Mowgli, who was looking to find himself out the window. But the problem is, Tim, he's got to find 4 more of those. And the raid boss, Bibu, still stands. I think we know how this half ends.
Certainly looks that way. Thunder is going to continue his way through. 1 minute 23. He's got time, if nothing else. It is the one commodity that he has by the bucketful. He's going to open up that wall. That could be an interesting one. It's going to make P4's life a little bit difficult. He's kind of stuck inside security, but as Thunder decides to dip away, challenge him, he's going back, thinking about a second attempt. I think that's an interesting... It's a smart play there. There you go. That's nice from Thunder. He's opened the wall, and I'm going to give a little bit of sound. I'm going to let him think I'm moving away. Then I'm going to come back and get that kill. 1v3, 55 seconds left to go, but Wolves, they just need to play this smart. Don't give him a 1v1. Just hold your crossfires, hold your angles, keep yourself behind hard surfaces, and wait for him to appear.
Just waiting to see if they'll swing on him at this point as well, Thunder. I think he knows, look, I can't win all these 3 separate, like, 1v3s. I've got to take the 1v1s as they come. So he's waiting and hoping they'll swing onto him. They know where he is. You've seen the yellow ping come out. They know exactly where he's coming from, Tim, but I imagine the call is don't swing. Don't swing. We've all been there in rank. Don't swing. Don't peek. Just wait. Is exactly what they're calling for. Down to that last 25 seconds. I doubt he tries to make a plant here. Otherwise, it is going to be swing city coming out from these other 3 players. And of course, why wouldn't Bibu go 12-0 in the first half?
It's hands off the keyboard time at that stage. In a 3v1, you don't need to be moving. Get your line of sight, get your angle, hold it down, and just wait for the player to move into your line of sight, into your ADS, and then just click mouse 1 as Bibu does and has done 12 times now, as you say. Absolutely flying. Wolves 6-0, completely dominant, and NAVI switching onto the defence and desperately needing to find something. There's no more mistakes. There's no more opportunities. This is it for them.
Is this the kind of time where Wolves pull out something spicy? Because we'll always say the best time to pull off a rush, go a little bit crazy, is in that first round. Just catch them by surprise, really set the tone for the rest of the half. The thing is, there wouldn't be a rest of the half. It would be done and dusted. At least for now, by the looks of it, though, Wolves sticking to their guns and going for very much tried and tested style composition. On the other side of things, though, NAVI really looking to hide in behind Mute and Mozzie here, deny away as much information as they possibly can, leverage their own through the Mozzie and through the Valkyrie, and play from there.
Okay then, this is the opportunity, and as you said, the Mute, the Mozzie, just trying to get there out in the map, try and get aggressive. At this point, you might as well try, because you're already looking at a strong situation. You're going to have a strong performance to get this one locked down. P4 is bringing along the IQ. That's going to deal with the Valkyrie mostly. Yep. So that is a good shout. Shinka on the Amaru, interesting one. We start out, it's usually to get into T3 quickly. I don't know whether they'll have had a drawn up there or not. Obviously, they really need to be throwing one in there if they want to get up. It can be done up the ladder, I think, with a little bit of trickery, but it's not an easy one. It's
also a very spicy play into Kid's window. But look at the difference here, by the way. When Skiddy was pushing up here separate, got swung on and died, Mowgli is playing the patience game. He's letting his teammates drone ahead of him. They're pulling out pings at this point. They've got someone controlling green as well. Mowgli up towards that side. Everything is just being done very carefully. They're nading out inside of security to get rid of the mute jammer as well, so drones can get on through. Everything's just being played by the book so far and being played very cautiously, making sure nothing is being left unturned.
Rise is heading in through Master, looking towards Trophy. Dumps a nade inside, again looking to clear utility out. And potentially the player. Sometimes you will have a player that plays tight in there, just inside the Trophy door. Yak makes the peek and manages to get the headshot onto Rise. This could be interesting. And Shinka thinks better of it as Yak manages to find a second kill onto P4. They do not have the numbers to be risking an Amaru up through Kid's window to try and see what can be gained up on the top floor. It's been a difficult round so far for Wolves, and NAVI might just be able to break the momentum.
You'd hope so at this point. Here comes Mowgli, seeing the one, but not quite able to find the man himself. Bibu steps down as well. Not quite aware of Highway. Surely the call would have come through that someone sprayed him down from Highway there, but Mowgli not quite making that call, it seems. Now looking to step round into deep freeze. He's got himself tucked in, but Skiddy sees him first. A very convincing round coming out from NAVI here. Makes it to Shinka, the last one left alive. NAVI have still got some fight left in them, Tim, even if it's still a long hill to climb.
This is it. They've just got to look at it one round at a time. There's no mistakes that they can make. You know, they've got to get every round right, and that's going to be the big difficulty. Shinka going to be using the Gara hook to get himself into Armory Corridor. Default cam is already gone. The's nobody up here anymore, but I'm sure that there's going to have been plenty of noise made as he did that, and they're going to be well aware of his position now. NAVI might just send one or two, given that they're in a 5v1, to try and find Shinka at this point so that he's not creeping up on them. In fact, they are doing exactly that. You've got one on Zulu, and out comes Yak. Perfectly timed. Gets Shinka, and it was only a down onto the other man, so that leaves us with a flawless round for NAVI.
And our attacker win rate still stays in the dumpsters. I'm pretty sure in the single figures at this point as well, Tim.
What is going on?
It's such a weird day. Such a bizarre day. The thing is, I think we're both convinced that they can find that one round.
This is what I was going to say. Ultimately, NAVI, they might get Laundry. They might get Dorms, because they're both primary sites. When they've got to go to that tertiary site, when they've got to go to meeting, when they've got to go to dining, whichever they choose, it's going to be meeting. You're talking a different ball game now. And this is Wolves' opportunity to just get this finished here and now.
I'm curious if they're bringing that IQ again, because now there's the Echo also on side. Nath struggling to get himself involved in this game, currently sat at 0-6. We've seen him go big in some previous weeks as well. Became a very much spearhead force alongside Skiddy for this team on several occasions. But here, with that extra information coming in alongside the Valkyrie, that IQ to me is now only even more powerful than we saw it in the last round.
Thunder opening the attic hatch, pretty much a similar setup to the one that we saw coming out of Wolves. We've only got the half reinforce at the minute. Don't think that's going to change. We do have, I think you mentioned, as the Ossa coming along with Bibu, who has taken the first death as well, 12-1. NAVI might be happy to note.
Well, it means his KD isn't infinite for this game. It does have a limit. It turns out the man can be killed. He isn't immortal. But still, for me, the big focus in this round is to be watching on towards this top side, because with that Ossa on side, we're so used to seeing this, Tim. Open up stage wall, drop an Ossa inside, get the plank going down, easy peasy, 1, 2, 3, behind the smokes as well, no less, of which they have 4 of those on side alongside the 4 frags in the back pockets of the Sledge and the Iana. So to get that one sorted out, they want to make sure they've got enough control. They want a drone downstairs to watch for any flanks through basement. They want one on the upstairs to stop any rotations coming in from attic side. That is, of course, if they try and go for that, they may yet have a completely different plan for the Ossa.
Thunder just playing on those back stairs, just trying to avoid that Ossa play. He's just trying to be the deterrent that will force them elsewhere. Right now, Wolves are having a good think before they get themselves into the building, just paying due diligence to the potential peak. We've seen that come out of small tower occasionally. A difficult one to hit the shot with. I do remember Kajeka managing to one-tap with a pistol from there once. It was an absolute beast of a kill. I think it was onto Rampy from SSG, if I remember correctly. It was absolutely wicked. Out comes the nade. They're going to be looking to clear attic here. Skiddy looking to just hold them off for as long as possible. Has the ADS, is going to be playing his life there.
A real big commitment as well from Navi. They've got one ADS down in lower tower stairs. They've got these 2 down inside a pit with Skiddy. They really want to challenge onto this spot. And again, it's like you can see why Wolves want to establish control in the basement and up here on this top floor. Down goes Blur. Mowgli with the entry. Not one of those 2 players that was holding quite an aggressive spot. That privilege is with Skiddy and with Thunder, as you can see on the stairs at the top of your screen. But keep an eye out for P4 as well here. You've got Yak trying to look for him on the bottom side, but instead Thunder swings down and finds him first.
That's well played from NAVI, nice and patient. There's no panic in them. 4v4, 1 minute left to go. Mowgli operating in a funny area here, knows where Thunder is located now, or at least was located. Looks to make a challenge, but Thunder has wriggled away and will be scurrying back underneath to come up Freezer stairs. Nath on half health. Skiddy's still in place, and this could potentially be a problem, because obviously he can shut down a plant from that attic hatch, but if they place somebody up there and just hold the angle, that will prevent that happening. So there are options for Wolves.
I think it's a really good read by Navi overall, though, to commit so much resource up towards that north side, top side of stage. Does mean that Wolves are forced to rotate away here with only 30 seconds to their name. They've got the hatch under their control. They can now force and try and clear their way through this top floor, but they basically have no time left, Tim. It's a 3 versus 3, and it's going to get explosive on site. Mowgli starts the killing.
Thunder is in a perfect position here. Takes shots and misses them from security. That could be a big misplay. Shinka is going to try and get the diffuser down. There's a yellow ping telling him exactly where the man is. It's a direct trade, though, and now a 1v2. Nath gets shut down on only half health, and that is going to be Wolves, as we thought they might. Finishing things off in quick fashion, 7-1.
The attack's obviously not quite to the standard that we've come to expect in some cases, but you cannot knock a 7-1 victory.
I think that might be a reference to flying to the major.
You reckon?
Yes, we had a lot of sort of aeroplane arms.
Or flying high, or
on there. I think it'll be flying to Berlin.
Either way, they've locked themselves in there with a knockout performance. Bibu ending 12-2. I wish it had been